How to Fillet a Halibut featuring Dan Brown. First, you have to wash the halibut and the skin and get off all the sea lice. The sea lice is yellow things that are on the skin. The sea lice cleans the skin of the halibut. Right there is a bone. The bone separates the meat from the guts. To properly skin the halibut, you start the first cut from the base of the halibut by the tail. Then you take a knife and move all the way up. Then you go up the other side. Then you go towards the gills and then cut around the gill plate, then down by a bone and then around the guts. Now you cheek the halibut. There are cheeks on both sides of the halibut. In order to properly skin a halibut without wasting meat, you take a set of pliers and pull down. Since the halibut is large, you need another person to help you remove the skin efficiently. Sometimes it's hard to remove the skin. You cut through the lateral line of the bone. So there's a spine in the middle and you can feel for the spine. Now you cut over a rack of bones. And then you cut the end and then you keep flaying back. And you keep cutting slowly until you reach the gut pile. You stop as soon as you see one of the guts, and then you cut the top. Then you spray off the fillet, keeping the fillet clean. Then you start on the next fillet. Fun fact, typically most people start white side up on a halibut. So you keep flaying and you just cut till you reach the top part of the fillet. If you fillet carefully like Mr. Brown is doing, you prevent wasting meat. Now it's time to flip over the halibut. to start again, except on the green side or the darker side. Now you start the process all over again. You take a knife and cut down at the base of the halibut. You take a knife again and go up till you hit approximately where the guts begin. And then you go up on the other side. Next, you go where you cut by the gills and come around the gills, under the fin, and then over to where you cut on the slit you made. Now we take out the cheek. You can feel a bone around the cheek, and that's how you know where to cut the cheek out. Fun fact, the eyes of a halibut start on each side of the halibut's head, but then one of the eyes migrate over to the dark side. So then they have two eyes on one side of their head. Now it's time to skin the halibut using pliers again. This halibut was 72 pounds. Oh, here goes the skin. You start from each side, so you make sure you don't rip meat up. You want to go down on one side and then the other side and then in the middle, like he's doing. Next, you start the flaying the meat off the bone process again. You go down the backbone or the spine of the halibut. Then you push the knife against the ribs of the halibut, which are located under the fillet of meat. Small cuts are the best way to go up because it prevents a waste of meat. You also want to make sure that you're super careful with your knife. Then you start on the other fillet. You continue cutting against the ribs, which is located right under the fillet. There should be no bones on the meat. Sometimes there will be, but most of the time you can prevent there being bones on a halibut fillet. Now it's time to check out what the halibut ate. that big thing that he is now holding is the stomach. And check that out. He ate another fish. Halibut can eat salmon if they're big enough, and like a full-size salmon if they're big enough. They can eat cod, herring, shrimp, crab, all of those things.